Yo, what's up YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Baek Battles. Today we are using a brand new team, and this team I didn't actually know until I was scrolling through some articles looking for some inspiration. But this team did get second place at the Korean National Championship, and yeah, it looks pretty fun. As you know, Kyogre Hall is one of my favorite duos to use in restricted formats, and yeah, we're gonna try it out and see how it goes. So really do enjoy Kyogre Hall. I think it was like the first team I showcased ever for VGC 2019. And I'm really excited to try it out in Ultra Series. It's not exactly a popular duo because of the fact that Primal Kyogre is pretty big. Rayquaza got big, which was a problem for this team. And it probably is a problem for this team. But let us see how it works as we got our first opponent from Spain to kick things off here with the okay, it looks like basically your standard Zernoger team with a Tornadus. This matchup, we have a Ferrothorn, so it's not too bad. Like, Ferrothorn does pretty well here. And the problem is I don't have anything for the Kyogre matchup. Like, the Kyogre matchup is very iffy. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to exactly lead here. I'm thinking Gengar is pretty good here with Kyogre because of the fact that Kyogre can do really... I mean, Tapu Koko, because of the fact that I can't get spored by the Amoonguss, which is nice. And trapping these Pokemon in are pretty good as well. I feel like I should bring the Incineroar because Incineroar is good for Intimidate. We could snatch the Tailwind, which is nice, but we can't snatch Z Tailwind, which is a little bit of a problem since my opponent could go for the Z Tailwind. I don't even know if Incineroar is worth it here. I don't think it's that bad against my opponent's team, but I don't think it's that great either. I want to bring Ferrothorn and Kyogre in the back because I'm going to need Ferrothorn for sure. Ferrothorn is my best answer to deal with the Xerneas plus Kyogre. And I'm going to need my own Kyogre just to handle the Incineroar, which is pretty big. So a lot of things that could go down. It really just depends on leads. I'm really worried about the Kyogre. Just Kyogre is doing a lot of damage output. I don't know what my opponent's really going to opt for as a lead option. Maybe Xerneas plus the Incineroar is definitely a possible option. But we'll find out. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, let us try it out. So, thinking we have Gengar, Mega Evolve, gain the Taunt option is nice against the Xerneas or the Amoonguss potentially. So let's see what my opponent is going to opt for here as a lead. I would be happy if it's a Xerneas, but if it's a Kyogre, it's going to be a little bit harder. We're going to lead our Tapu Koko Gengar against a Kangaskhan Tornadus lead. So it's a pretty safe lead for my opponent. I could probably just go for a Will-O-Wisp to Kangaskhan, which is actually really good here. And a Volt Switch into the Tornadus, which should pick up a knockout, I think. Yeah, it should. So I'm gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp here. Even if you fake out, it's not too bad of an option. And I'm gonna Volt Switch the Torn here, expecting fake out to come out in a slot and a setup, whether it's a Tailwind, Z Tailwind. I don't think you would go for Z Hurricane or Taunt turn one, because I don't think Taunt is. I don't think you would taunt the Gengar since this doesn't look like a Parasong team. So let's see here. We're going to go Gengar. We're going to Mega Evolve. Let's see if my opponent does the same with the Kangaskhan or just stays in regular form to get a scrappy fake out. But it looks like that's not the case. It's going to be Mega Evolving here. And I'm assuming it's just clicking fake out into the Tapu Koko slot. Kangaskhan's a pretty big threat, so I'll be happy to take a Will-O-Wisp onto that Kangaskhan as fake out does come out into the Tapu Koko, doing a pretty decent amount of damage right there as Tailwind does go up. So if we hit the Will-O-Wisp, we're fine here in this position. Nice, we do hit the Will-O-Wisp. So the Kangaskhan's basically neutered, so that's really good here. So big threat out of the way. I can go for a double protect on a potential Z Hurricane here for some chip, as well as stall out this turn to Tailwind, which is nice. So I can go for a double protect. I'm thinking maybe my opponent just goes for a double edge plus Z Hurricane into my Koko. So let's see what my opponent's going to opt for here. It could also be Z Fly into my Gengar to prevent a trap, but basically Kangaskhan is neutered here, and unless it carries Side Roar, I can't really do anything super big to my team. So let's see what my opponent's going to do, as I will double protect. I have to stall out a turn of Tailwind here, and I really want to scout for a Z move. A Bike gonna actually come out, and the Kangaskhan's actually faster than the Torn, which does go for its Z move, so you want to assume this is Z Fly here. Don't know who this is targeting. I feel like this one to knock out Koko. My opponent targeted the Koko slot. Let's see here though. Gonna be that Supersonic Sky Strike. Is it the Koko? I don't think it would knock out. Yeah, it wasn't the top of Koko. I don't think that would have knocked out. I could probably get the knockout Tornadus, which would have actually been bigger for me. I take more chip, and now I'm in KO range of a double edge plus a Hurricane if my opponent hits it. But my best play, double up the Torn. If I can get rid of Torn, I can deny Tailwind in the game, which is actually really good for me. I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt. It is Volt Switch. Volt Switch is probably better. I think I should be able to KO the Torn at that range. And even if not, Gengar should survive the turn, no matter what my opponent goes for. And as long as it doesn't flinch, I do get Sludge Bomb off, guaranteed at least. So, yeah, not exactly the best start, but I think we're in an okay spot for the time being. The Kangaskhan's really, again, not doing too much. Once my Kyogre comes in, it just takes the double edge pretty comfortably and can fire off an Origin Pulse, which is nice. I do have to keep my Ferrothorn as healthy as possible because that Pokemon is very necessary to win this game. I am a little bit worried about the Bite on Kangaskhan because it can flinch my Ferrothorn later in the game. But Bite actually going to come out on the Tapu Koko and not even a double edge. So trying to maximize the odds here. Is Hurricane going to come out? Tapu Koko Voice, which is nice. Sludge Bomb will fire off into the Tornadus for some chip. And we do actually land a Volt Switch, which is great here. So we are able to knock out the Tapu Koko, which is really good here because getting rid of that Tapu Koko, excellent for my team. And I get to preserve my Tapu Koko, which I can bring later in the game. I will go my Ferrothorn right here, which is extremely good in this position because of the fact that I'm assuming both the restricted are my opponent's last two Pokemon. And if that's the case, I can go for a Gyro Ball if it's the Xerneas, or if it's the Kyogre, I could go for the Power Whip and just protect Gengar. So I'm guessing the Kyogre would want to come out here. It's the thing that can do the most damage right off the bat, and it is going to be that Kyogre coming out. Since we burned the Kangaskhan, Low Kick isn't doing much to my Ferrothorn, and this Ferrothorn is very bulky in general. So we should be able to take any hits, and as long as we hit a Power Whip, we should be fine. So in a very comfortable spot to potentially take the game right here. We'll go for the Power Whip here. Hope we don't get like Bite Flinch. My opponent might go for it. But if you go for Bite, at least you're not doing any damage to my Ferrothorn realistically. And you are actually like losing HP. Like a lot of HP from Iron Barb. So I'm going to Power Whip right here into the Kyogre. And if my opponent protects, you stall out the last turn Tailwind and don't get much damage in the Ferrothorn, which I'm okay with. But it looks like no protects. Bite is going to come out into the Ferrothorn, so my opponent going for what? The 51% chance to flinch, I think? Which is fine. Because Kangaskhan might be putting Sludge Bomb range after that, and then I can Power Whip the Kyogre just fine. So let's see. Water Spout going to come out. That does a lot, but luckily not too much. We don't flinch, but we missed a Power Whip, which is unfortunate. That's still not too bad, though. Like, I could go for a Sludge Bomb into the Kangaskhan slot, and I think Sludge Bomb should be able to knock out Kangaskhan at that range. And we'll go for the Power Whip once again into the Kyogre. There's a chance Kyogre does Protect here, too. But let's see. Yep, no Protect. Sludge Bomb going to come out into Kangaskhan. It actually hangs on, but it only gets one bite off, so... Although, does Water Spout knock me out at this range? If it does, we have problems. Although I think we could still win, we do have problems. Origin Pulse, actually, so my opponent expected the Sludge Bomb. Okay, so that's a lucky break there. As... Oh, my Pokemon survived. I actually wasn't expecting Gengar to survive. If we get one Power Whip off, fantastic spot. If we don't, weird spot. Power Whip, we do land, which is nice, so we are able to get the Power Whip into Kyogre. Hangs on just barely. Wow, that was a critical hit Power Whip. That is a very bulky Kyogre. Jeez. That's like bold Kyogre. Okay, that's why I wasn't doing any damage. That's why I did not get Gengar. Is there anything that's going to be the last Pokemon revealed? I think it's fine. I just go for Taunt into the Xerneas. Yeah, I just Taunt the Xerneas and Protect, I think. Because, like, Xerneas could attempt to set up Geo, which is fine. If it protects, that's fine too. You're most likely assuming it's another Origin Pulse coming my way, which means Gengar goes down, and then I get a free switch in Tapu Koko and click Gleam plus a Dazzling Gleam. Well, Gleam plus a Gyro Ball, which will finish off my opponent's Pokemon. So I think I'm fine with how I can take this game. So Taunt into the Xerneas slot, into that Protect. Origin Pulse is going to come off. I hope it connects. It doesn't, which makes the game a little bit interesting, I guess. Moonblast plus Origin Pulse shouldn't knock out Ferrothorn though, so I'm gonna Taunt here. And I'm just gonna Gyro Ball. Well, I'm taking extra damage. It's still better to Gyro Ball to Xerneas anyway, just in case. Even if it gets a double, like again, unless my opponent goes for an Ice Beam here and freezes, I guess. But no Protects here. So I will go for the taunt, probably a Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam coming out. Yeah, Dazzling Gleam. Single target Origin Pulse shouldn't knock out though, and I don't think Ice Beam will be able to knock out my Ferrothorn either. Again, it's going to come down to an Ice Beam freeze. Let's see here. It is going to be the Ice Beam. Will it freeze me? Nice. It doesn't even crit me too, and the crit wasn't even knocked out. Gyro Ball into the Xerneas. Actually finishes it off, which is actually very impressive. So it will knock out the Xerneas here, and now I'm able to go back into my Tapu Koko and just click Dazzling Gleam, and I'm going to be able to finish off the Kyogre. So able to win the game. A Gengar landing that Willis was super clutch, being able to neuter that Kangaskhan. We missed a power up into the Kyogre, but luckily we were still able to pull it off. We were just able to get into a good position. Gengar was just able to trap the burn Kangaskhan, which didn't do anything. We were able to knock out the Tapu Koko. Not Tapu Koko, the Tornadus, and once Tornadus went down, basically all my opponent's Pokemon didn't really hit Ferrothorn for any damage, as well as my opponent could get speed advantage, which means you couldn't really set up Geomancy, or you couldn't really sweep with your Water Spout with Kyogre. So, nice. We are going to be able to pick up a win there. And, yeah, not much else to say. My opponent taking the full time. I bet you're going to take the full time to protect. Nope. Okay. So we are able to take a win, which is really nice. Wasn't expecting that lead specifically. Wasn't really expecting that lead because of the fact that I felt like Incineroar had to be brought. My opponent really just didn't bring answers to Ferrothorn, and yeah, I just got punished hard for it. Ferrothorn's one of the banes for that combination. Like, you need Incineroar unless you're gonna try to brute force it with like Low Kick and like Z Hurricane. But since my opponent was forced to use the Z Hurricane early into Protect, went for Raw Hurricane, missed fortunately. We were able to just be put in a really good position overall in the early stage of the game. So we got Brendan from Greece as our next opponent, 1657 rating as... Oh, okay. It looks like it's going to be... Huh. Why Tapu Fini over Tapu Lele? It's going to be Hirofumi's team from Worlds with a Tapu Fini over the Tapu Lele, but still has Umbreon. Okay. Spam. How does this team beat Spam? Does it? Do I have a Dark type move on Ensign? I hope I do. I have Snarl, which isn't exactly the best counter. Okay, that's not great. I do have a Tapu Koko though, and Tapu Koko does really well against my opponent's team overall. And the Farium Z can do well against the Necrozma and the Umbreon, as well as the Salamence actually. I gotta figure out how I want to approach this. I'm thinking no Ferrothorn here, because Ferrothorn doesn't really do too much in this game. I'm thinking maybe going like Incin plus Ho-Oh might be the play. I like Tapu Koko's elite too. It's just weird leading Double Fire into probably what's a Salamence that could lead here. So I gotta think about this through. I could also lead Tapu Koko plus Ho-Oh, which wouldn't be too bad. I think I'm gonna try it with Incineroar and Kyogre in the back. I want Intimidate in the back, and I want to try to bait out the Groudon so I can go for the Weather Ball that we actually have on the Ho-Oh, which is a really cool tech for the Groudon because they don't really expect it. That means this Ho-Oh doesn't have recovery, which is unfortunate because having the recovery would actually be pretty good here, but we do have a 50% berry, which isn't too bad. Let's see what my opponent's going to bring. I'm thinking my opponent brings a combination of like Groudon for sure, the Necrozma, and the last two are kind of up for debate. I don't know if you're going to try the Umbreon to stall me or if you're going to go on a more offensive route with like one of your Megas and like Fini. But we're going to see Necrozma plus Fini. Okay. Which isn't too bad. We're going to lead our Tapu Koko plus Ho-Oh. Not too bad. I wonder if I could Volt Switch and Tailwind turn one, which is kind of what I'm thinking. But of course, Necrozma does get access to that Trick Room. So some things I have to debate about. I could go for Volt Switch into Tapu Fini. The problem is, what if the Groudon comes into the Fini as I try to Volt Switch, and then Necrozma goes for the Earth Power and the Tapu Koko for the knockout? I don't exactly like that if that happens. I think I'm just going to try to Volt Switch and Sacred Fire the Necrozma slot, because I don't think I need Tailwind, and I don't want a Tailwind in case my opponent does go for the Trick Room, because then I'd be put in a really weird awkward spot. I'd rather just Volt Switch and Sacred Fire here. Even if Necrozma protects, it's fine. I don't think you're going to risk a Gigavolt Havoc if you don't know this team into the Feeny. Yeah, so Feeny's going to retreat. I'm guessing that's the Groudon coming in. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I could get in Kyogre, I think, here. And then I can, force the Groudon out into the Feeny once again. And maybe I could get a Brave Bird off into the Necrozma, which would be really nice here. I didn't want to Twinkle Tackle Raw in case my opponent stayed in regular form, which is definitely a possibility. Let's see what my opponent went for, though. I'm guessing you're trying to capitalize, but I'm not exactly too sure. You might just protect. Yeah, it's protect, which is fine. That kind of works out in our favor, I think. The question is, what do you do in the next turn? Because I'm not exactly too sure. I kind of want to Volt Switch and Weather Ball to Groudon if possible, because if I can get the Weather Ball, that would be awesome into the Groudon slot. I think Necrozma. When I want to take a Sacred Fire Burn. I think I'm just going to go for it, because if I can get rid of Groudon, that's a Pokemon that I get. I really want a Twinkle Tackle right here in Tailwind. Because I think there's a chance that Groudon could just switch out here. Yeah, I think I'm going to just go for it, actually. I'm going to Tailwind here, because I think Groudon could switch out into Kyogre, expecting Kyogre. It's kind of obvious. And I think Necrozma would burst. We're going to see the Groudon retreat. I'm thinking Feeny comes back in. Yeah, okay. Show me the burst, please. Like, a burst would be amazing to catch with the Twinkle Tackle. Unfortunately, don't catch it. I thought my opponent wouldn't want to take a Sacred Fire, but then again, if I'm bringing Coco, that actually makes sense to stay in regular form. So good play on my opponent's end. Actually, I should have thought about that more. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I couldn't Sacred Fire in the rain, which is what my opponent anticipated. So, yeah, this isn't exactly that great here. Alright. So that's a pretty bad turn here. Let's see. Oh, is it Trick Rooming here too? This seems really bad now. Yeah, it is Trick Room. Okay. So it's not the end of the world technically, but that's still actually pretty bad here. I don't know what the Feeny has though. That's like the problem. I don't know what Feeny has. I'm gonna go Incineroar because I have Snarl, which is nice. And I'm just gonna Sacred Fire the Necrozma because I don't need like the damage on Feeny yet. Having no recover on Ho actually really stinks in this matchup because I can't really recover off the Nature's Damage Madness. The Nature's Madness damage. So yeah, but that's my fault for playing pretty poorly. I think I should have just went for a... Because I could have just went for like a Z move into Sacred Fire and covered both my odds. Instead, I decided to go greedy and go for the Tailwind, which wasn't exactly that great as my opponent was able to get Trick Room up. But yeah, not exactly the greatest. We'll bring in Incineroar and intimidate that Necrozma and the Feeny, which doesn't really matter. No switches for my opponent, which is nice. It is going to be a Photon Geyser coming out. Going to target down the Hollow slot, but should be pretty bulky as this is going to be a special attack. Yeah. Not really doing too much, thankfully. Oh, but it has Swagger. Okay. Swagger is interesting here, as hopefully we can get a good Sacred Fire off. Nice, okay. Big damage in Necrozma. Big damage. Okay. I can go top of Coco if I really want to. Okay, so... Wait, if it's Photon Geyser... That means this Necrozma's physical for sure. So, does it have Earth Power is a question? No, it doesn't have Earth Power most likely, right? This is a tough turn. I'm gonna just fake out on Sacred Fire because there's a chance my opponent goes for a Heal Pulse with Feeny anyway. But we're actually gonna see Necrozma switch out. So good play on my opponent's end. Groudon's gonna come back out. Ooh, maybe I could get the Weather Ball strategy off. If this isn't like a Rock move Groudon. Don't tell me you're swaggering though, because I was thinking of going to top with Coco here to see if he swag yourself. But I thought my opponent would just Heal Pulse and attack because like you would survive the combination of like Fake Out plus Sacred Fire. We are gonna see Swagger come out here though. Okay. Into the Groudon. That's gonna really hurt for the upcoming turns, as we will get a Sacred Fire off at least into the Groudon for some chip. I don't really need Kyogre though, do I? The Kyogre's not doing too much. I think it's actually just better to go Kyogre here. No, because Weather Ball, if I go down to Precipice Blades, that doesn't make sense. Did I sack Tapu Koko here is the question. Because I can technically sack Tapu Koko. You've... Plus your Dragon Claw is going to hurt, though. Is Tailwind still up? Yeah, Tailwind's still up. I think I sack Tapu Koko and I go for the Brave Bird into the Feeny. I don't know. I don't have much time. I was trying to think of how do I get out of that situation, but yeah, it doesn't really work out here. I'm going to go Tapu Koko just in case my opponent tries to Swagger again if the Feeny is slower than the Dawn under Trick Room. So maybe it could hit itself. I should have probably went for the Brave Bird into Dawn, but like, I don't think it's like super necessary as we're going to see the light screen come out. Okay. Precipice Blades. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, the Feeny was faster, which is a good thing. We can probably go for the Weather Ball the following turn, which is good. Like, this game's still winnable, which is nice. Alright, so we'll get the Brave Bird off into the Feeny. Good chip damage. I just hope we don't go down to +2 Dragon Claw. Might be better just to go instant here. Yeah, I'm gonna go instant here actually. Cause I could Tailwind up on this last turn of yeah, I could Tailwind up now. Which is really good actually. Cause now what I can do is fake out the Groudon and Tailwind. Because it's the last turn of Trick Room, my opponent can't really reset the Trick Room. Then I could go for the fake out and Weather Ball. So I can go for the Weather Ball strategy afterward. Cause Swagger doesn't matter. We've revealed Light Screen. Even if it's Heal Pulse, it doesn't... I don't think it changes much. I'm pretty sure Ho should be able to knock out Groudon regardless. Because, like, it's a Weather Ball water move that's, like, what, base 80, 100? I don't know. It's strong. I can tell you that much. So, let's see. Even if you Icy Wind, it's fine. But, yeah, let's see. Groudon going to switch out, which is fine. Necrozma? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, we're in a good spot now. Unless it's Heal Pulse. If you Heal Pulse, this makes it weird. Okay, Heal Pulse is the play. Wonder if Sacred Fire plus U-Turn would finish off the Necrozma. Probably should have thought about the Heal Pulse strategy, but I really wanted to get Tailwind up in case Groudon protected. I'm gonna U-Turn out the Necrozma and Sacred Fire. It's so obvious that Necrozma can protect, right? But I feel like I have no other play. I can't let a free Trick Room go off. I should be able to get the combination off into Necrozma before it can attack anyway, so I think it's still worth it. And Feeny can't really do much otherwise. So I think it is worth it. Too bad this Snarl is really not helping on this instant. I don't like how this instant doesn't have any offense. This Snarl has not helped, and it doesn't even have like a fire move or anything, so I can't really like power through the Necrozma as much as I would like here. I don't even know Sacred Fire plus U-Turn will finish off the Necrozma, but I basically got to go for it. I mean, we do land, which is good. If we can knock out the Necrozma, we're in a decent spot. I think we should be able to knock out, which is good. Get a burn. I also don't want to go for Snarl because I don't think I'll knock it out, actually. Like, I don't think I'll knock out the Necrozma as with Snarl. But we are able to finish off the Necrozma, which is good. Okay. We are forced to bring out Kyogre, though, which is pretty bad. But it's not the worst. This next turn I could Sacred Fire to Feeny. It might not proc Berry, and I might be able to get it in range of Brave Bird, which means I can win the Weather War, which would be good. Let's see what my opponent's going to go for. And if you go Groudon, like, I can play Mind Games. I don't think my opponent can knock out the instant on the switch, which is the important part, unless the Feeny has a Water-type move. But it goes for Heal Pulse, okay. Luckily, the Tailwind was actually pretty huge because it allowed my Incineroar to outspeed the Feeny, which is great here. We're going to see the Groudon once again come out. I'm 100% switching out. I could also go for Brave Bird Ice Beam in the Groudon, but I don't want to risk it not KOing. And if the Groudon had a move that could touch my Ho-Oh, I think it would have went for it earlier. I'm going to go Incineroar here. I'm just going to go for the fire into the Feeny slot. Did I reveal Weather Ball yet? I might have revealed Weather Ball. Did I though? No, I don't think I did. I tailwinded that turn. I tried to Weather Ball, right? Yeah. I don't think I revealed it yet. My hair's a bit messed up. I'm hoping that Sacred Fire puts the Feeny under barrier range and we're able to get into a good position here. Like, this is really tough. Luckily, my opponent can't really self-swagger, which is a really good thing. So we'll bring out the Incineroar here. Let's see what my opponent is going to go for. I could also fake out the ground and Brave Bird the Feeny, which is nice. Let's see. Alright, Sacred Fire, no protects. Oh, that did a lot because we're in the sun. Oh, we critted, which is actually probably worse for us, but we do get a burn to compensate, I guess. But activating the barrier really stinks here. It might have activated the barrier though anyway. I can't really tell from the spot, but we get the damage on Feeny. Dragon Claw is going to come out, which isn't going to do too much to Ho-Oh, which is good. And Nature's Madness into the switch. Oh, it's in a Ho-Oh. Okay, so that activates my barrier, which is actually really good here. Nice. I'm 100% U-turning, and I think Brave Birding the Feeny, because that might be able to pick up a knockout here, which would be really good here. And if Groudon stays in, I guess it's alright. Yeah, I think it'd be alright. I'm pretty sure Salamence is the back Pokemon, and it is going to switch in here. I want that Intimidate with my Incineroar. And I want to knock out the Feeny so I can win the Weather War. I could go for the surprise Weather Ball right here, but yeah, Groudon's like very likely to switch out here. To preserve the weather. Salamence? No, it's Kangaskhan in the back. Okay. That changes it, because if it has Bite, this makes this game really annoying, actually. But we are going to be able to get a Brave Bird off, which is good. Into the Feeny. And U-turn, which shouldn't... Yeah, it doesn't knock out the Feeny. Actually, if I take too much damage to Kyogre, if it is a Madness, that's a little bit annoying. I can't tell who you're gonna Madness though. You might Madness my Hollow Slot. I hope it's a Hollow Slot. I mean, it's not too bad if like I take a lot of damage with Hollow right off the with Kyogre, because I could probably Tailwind. Let's see. It is Madness. Oh, Kyogre Voice, which is nice. That's really nice actually. All right. Feeny goes down. But I don't really mind that. And it is Dragon Claw Groudon confirmed, so I'm in a pretty good spot now. Electric Terrain going to disappear too. The Groudon's forced to come in, but I don't think Double Edge into Dragon Claw and -1 will be able to finish my Ho-Oh off, so I can get in Incineroar and attempt to Tailwind. And then next turn I could go for the Weather Ball. Like, Kyogre on the Tailwind should be able to seal up this game. So we'll go Incineroar here, we'll Tailwind. It's a very obvious play, but I don't think there's like too much my opponent can really capitalize, because these Pokemon don't really have the best ways to set up. Groudon revealing Dragon Claw pretty much reveals that it can't set up. And it's not like old Kangaskhan where there's Power Punch. The worst case would be like Bite, and I have to deal with Bite on the following turn, I guess. But I could just fake out the Kangaskhan and Tailwind. So let's see. Let us see what my opponent's going to go for. Okay, you're going to retreat into Incin. Like, it's just a very safe play that I'm making right now. There isn't really much that my opponent can punish here. So, we're able to claw back into this game, I feel like, because we were in a pretty bad spot a few turns ago. Kangaskhan is going to Mega Ball. And I think you have to fake out, right? Fake out my Ho-Oh. And Dragon Claw, I think. Or maybe go for Crypt Blades, I guess, which is possible. But it's going to be a Double Edge, so I'm guessing it's Double Edge plus a Dragon Claw double up. Oh, that did a lot more than I thought, actually. That did a lot more than I thought. My Ho was faster, though, so we're able to get the Tailwind off. And that should secure the game, even if you double up that slot. Oh, you actually went for Precipice Blades, which is fine. Okay. I don't think this Kangaskhan's gonna have Sucker Punch. We were able to activate Berry, which is nice on the instant. I don't really think the Nature's Madness miss mattered unless I got crit. Or I miss all my Origin Pulses. We're gonna go for the Kyogre switch. And we're gonna Weather Ball. Because my opponent might not protect Groudon, expecting me to double up the Kangaskhan slot with Fake Out plus Sacred Fire here. So my opponent might try to pick up some knockouts. Because I could easily go for the Fake Out plus Sacred Fire in the King, but I feel like that going Kyogre and Weather Balling the Groudon, because if I don't expect Groudon to protect, if I get a knockout on Groudon, pretty much seals the game, because I could Fake Out with Vincent and attack with my Pokemon. So, yeah, no protects here. We're able to show off the Weather Ball on the Ho-Oh. That is a beautiful little ball right there, as we're able to knock out the Groudon, dunk the Groudon in some rain. Groudon going to go down. Why doesn't Groudon take damage when it gets hit by the rain? Double Edge going to come out of Kyogre. As you can see, just not doing any damage right there. And I can easily just go for a Water Spout right here and a Brave Bird. And yeah, since we outspeed the Kangaskhan thanks to our Tailwind, we should be able to seal this game up, as the match is going to be forfeited and we are able to take a game. So I don't think I played that game too well, but we were able to come through. I think the early turns of the game, my opponent was definitely outplaying me, but I was able to capitalize a bit on positioning with the Tailwind. The Sacred Fire and the U-turn knockout and into Necrozma was huge. Getting that knockout would have been really big right there. And since we did get it, my opponent was denied a second Trick Room, so we were able to actually sweep through with the team that we had. But that's going to be it for today. If you want to check out the team report, I'll list it in the description down below along with the pacement, but you can check it out in the description down below. You can check out my social media down below as well. If you want to support this video, be sure to give it a like, leave a comment down below, and share it with your friends. I would really appreciate it. But otherwise, if you want to go an extra mile to support my content, there is my Patreon page and Twitch channel you can check out, linked in the description down below. And all my other stuff, like my social media, the side saves on my channel, and all the other good stuff will be linked down below as well. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. We have a great, successful first episode with this team. And I think that's going to wrap things up. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. Until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.